everybody, welcome back to our channel. If you're new, welcome to our channel. Today's video is a pregnancy update. Finally, I mean this has been ridiculous. So I'm almost 31 weeks pregnant, and I don't think I've done an update since I was like 17 weeks pregnant. With the twins, I kind of overdid it. I did a pregnancy update pretty much every week, and then maybe like halfway through or so, I did every other week. But this is totally out of hand, so I have a lot to cover. This is basically everything that's happened since 17 weeks, which some things are irrelevant now and just not really happening anymore. Other things are new within the last week or two. So and I'm also sitting outside, so you're gonna probably hear bugs and trucks going by. Hopefully you're still able to hear me and it's not too distracting. The kids are napping right now, so this is pretty much the only time I can really sit down and film one of these. I was gonna do it kind of vlog style, but today just didn't really lend itself to that. Bear's been sick, and so he's just wanting to be held a lot, which I'm totally cool with, but it's not really conducive for sitting and doing like a pregnancy update without being distracted the whole time. So anyway, if you're new here, we're a vlogging channel mainly. We just kind of film throughout the day, put those clips together into a video and upload them without a whole lot of special editing. So you really get like a raw, unedited view into our lives, which I think is kind of cool. I do really enjoy more cinematic type vlogs, but that's just not, for one, we don't have time. We both work, my husband and I, and we just don't have time to put that much effort into a vlog. For two, we've kind of always done it this way, and if that's what's drawn people to our channel and that's what our subscribers are used to, then why would we change that now? So anyway, that's what we normally do. We usually post every weekday, maybe on weekends if we have enough footage to warrant that. So just look out for any new notifications that we've posted. I think they're doing like yard work or like blowing something down there, so I can hear it plain as day. I hope you guys can't. Okay, moving on. I have a list of things like product-wise that I've used this pregnancy that I've really loved. So I think I'm gonna hit those really quickly and then move on to like what my symptoms have been for the last 13, 14 weeks, almost half of my pregnancy. So I wanna start off by saying, and I have a note here, and I've said this before, generally when you're talking about symptoms during pregnancy, they're not good. Like, there's a handful of people that absolutely love being pregnant and just like glow and emit feminism and just love it. That's awesome. Like, I'm so happy for you all. I'm definitely not that person. I didn't really enjoy being pregnant with the twins, but I didn't hate it as much as I am hating it now. That sounds terrible. I fully acknowledge that this pregnancy is a total miracle. I'm so thankful that we didn't have to do like full-blown fertility treatments to conceive this child, and we didn't have to go through the heartbreak of potential miscarriage or things not working out or failed IVF cycles. Like, just to have a naturally conceived baby with relatively minor issues during the pregnancy has been like, that's been awesome. So I fully acknowledge that this is a miracle, and with that said, the symptoms that I've had this pregnancy have not been fun to live with. So I'm gonna go through them, but just please don't feel like I'm complaining. I'm just simply sharing what my experience has been this pregnancy. Now there's a boat going by. Okay, but back to like the products. So my last pregnancy, I used bio oil as like my moisturizer and my attempt at avoiding stretch marks. I don't necessarily believe that moisturizing your skin externally prevents stretch marks. I think maybe that's like 5% and 95% is genetics. Maybe 5% is external hydration, 2% external hydration, 5% hydration, and then the other 93% is genetics. That's totally just my breakdown. Like, don't Google that and fact check me on that. So anyway, like, I'm just under the impression that I like to moisturize my skin and it can't hurt, and I don't like the idea of having stretch marks. I don't hate the idea of having stretch marks. It's like one of those things where, you know, I think they're a marking of motherhood, and it's not that big of a deal in the grand scheme of things. However, if I can prevent them by massaging a really nice smelling, nice feeling oil into my skin, I'm all for it. So I used bio oil with the twins, which I really liked, but this time I found, I think this one's a little bit cheaper than bio oil. Bio oil, like the brand name stuff, is pretty expensive. And so this one is actually called Stretch Marks Massage Oil. And it's by Pure Life Science. It smells so good, and there's only 4 ingredients. Geranium oil, grapeseed oil, sweet orange oil, carrot seed oil. So like, I mean, it doesn't really get more natural than that, and it smells so good. And you only have to use like a tiny bit. When I was newly pregnant, 1 squirt would cover easily like my whole belly and like thigh, hip region. And then more recently I'm having to do 2 pumps with the growth that's happened. So it just smells like, it smells like a spa when you get a massage and they use the fancy oils on you. It smells like that. It's really nice. And it was on Amazon. It was not expensive. All the things I'm going to talk about, I'll leave a link below so you know exactly which one I used, if that matters to you. So that is like a luxurious item I've done this pregnancy. The best, I want to say the best pregnancy prenatal purchase I think I've ever made is the pregnancy pillow that I'm using this pregnancy, and I'll put a clip of it here. It is phenomenal. The pregnancy pillow I used when I was pregnant with the twins was like a C shape, and it was frustrating. Another boat's going by. It was frustrating because like if I rolled over in the night, which when you get past a certain point, you really only have 2 choices when you're asleep, and that's lay on your left side, lay on your right side. So when you're flopping back and forth between those 2, in a C-shaped pillow, there's like a huge opening. So you really have to like physically flip the pillow over to stay comfortable. This thing is amazing. Plus it has like this detachable section that like, I put that on the left side because I tend to lay on my left side more just because my doctor said to, but it like makes it so it's comfortable with your left arm underneath the pillow, and it doesn't like have any chance of cutting off circulation in your arm. It's amazing. Plus the cover really easily comes off because it's 2 sections, so you can wash the cover superly easily. And I think it's the best purchase I've ever made with pregnancy. It's made sleeping so much more comfortable. I only have 8 more weeks to go. Everyone's so confused about the timeline of this. When you have a scheduled C-section, you deliver at 39 weeks. My doctor explained to me that that prevents you, not prevents you, I mean obviously it could still happen, but decreases the chance of you going into labor on your own, which can complicate the whole C-section thing. So they just as a rule deliver at 39 weeks at our hospital, and so that makes it just a little over 8 weeks until I'm due. And I mean, that's just not that long. I remember with the twins, I was feeling so uncomfortable and still had so much time left. And of course it was twins, but which makes a difference. But this pet pillow, I think, has made a night and day difference with my sleep. I'm gonna link that below. Do yourself a favor and get this pillow. I think it was only like 30 bucks. Okay, so as usual, I'm anemic. I'm anemic under normal circumstances, so I'm definitely anemic when I'm pregnant. And one of our subscribers who works for an OB, I believe, recommended this brand of iron supplements, which apparently is better about not constipating you, and also is clinically proven to like increase your iron levels easier, so or quicker or something. So anyway, she recommended this. I've been taking it. I know my iron levels have gone up. I can't remember the exact numbers, but I've been taking just 1 of these a day, and that's helped my iron situation. And I don't know if it's just that I've progressed through pregnancy enough that I'm getting some energy back, but I've definitely felt more energetic. Another thing that you must have in pregnancy, I haven't reread it this pregnancy, but I probably should. It's the book Girlfriend's Guide to Pregnancy. Like, of all the what to expect when you're expecting books, this one was my favorite, and of course I read them all because that's just who I am. And with the twins, I didn't have anything else to do. I just worked and then like got ready for the twins. This pregnancy I haven't had near as much time, but Girlfriend's Guide to Pregnancy is hilarious. It's almost like in the same bucket as Precious Little Sleep is to Baby Sleep, like where you're just dying laughing as you're reading it because it's so, everything is so true and like so funny. And she just, like, the author does not sugarcoat pregnancy at all. She tells you how it is, like, from girlfriend to girlfriend. So worth checking out if you're in your first pregnancy, especially if you're further along in your pregnancy, unless you want to know just like what's coming up. But super funny book. And the last thing I want to mention product wise is this personal handheld fan. I got it on Amazon because I've been just like deadly hot this pregnancy. This thing pumps some serious air, and you can put water up here and it has a mister, so you can just push a button and it'll mist into the water. It's not like it sprays you in the face, it just like puts out this mist, and it's made a huge difference because I've been really hot because it's summer and I'm pregnant, and also my blood pressure is dropping when I'm hot. So that's one of like probably the worst symptoms I've had with this pregnancy, is my whole like low blood pressure and that being exacerbated by being hot thing. It's been miserable because we've wanted to spend a lot of time outside. Of course, it's summer and like the kids love to swim and stuff, and I feel like I can't partake all the time because I just get so lightheaded and nauseous when I'm hot. But this fan has made a difference. It definitely doesn't like cool down my whole body, but it makes a difference and maybe makes me last a little bit longer outside. For someone who just is like run-of-the-mill hot, even if you're not pregnant, like this thing is awesome. And it doesn't take batteries. You charge it with a USB cord, so you don't have to worry about like running out of batteries with it, which is nice. Also on Amazon, I'll link it below. So that's it for products. Moving on to symptoms. I had mentioned in our last update that I had like the symptoms that felt like maybe it was SPD, which is like, I can't even remember what it stands for, and that hasn't really gotten worse, thankfully, because that was something I was worried about. I know as you go throughout pregnancy that can get a lot worse and really uncomfortable, but it's basically just like this pelvic pain that gets worse if you stand for a long time. The more active I am, definitely the more I can feel it, and it's just something that hasn't really gotten worse. Sciatic nerve pain I have that comes and goes. So I can tell, I can predict when it's about to happen, like when I feel like that nerve is starting to get pinched or the baby's in a position that it's like pressing towards it or something. If I step a certain direction with my left leg particularly, it makes that nerve hurt for a long time. So I can tell like when I'm about to do it and stop myself and like just walk a different way and sort of avoid it. I don't know if that's normal or I don't know. So I've been able to avoid like really bad episodes of sciatic nerve pain. That might just be luck. It doesn't seem like it's been as bad as it was second trimester. I'm still fitting in my clothes, so that's different than it was with the twins. With the twins, it was my priority to gain weight quickly because the book I was reading, all of the research said that the more weight you can gain in a healthy way, the better outcome that is for the babies. Like the more the babies will weigh, the better their birth weights will be, the healthier they will be, the longer term you will carry them. So like it was my priority to try to, as healthy as I could, gain as much weight as possible as quickly as possible. And I was pretty much right on track with what the book suggested with the twins. With the singleton pregnancy, it seemed like I didn't gain much in the beginning, and then I had like rapid weight gain for a little while, and then now I've kind of plateaued again. So I don't know, if I gain another pound a week for the rest of the pregnancy, I'll have gained a total of like 30 pounds or something. So right in the middle of what they recommend. I think it's like 25 to 35 pounds if you're a normal weight person when you become pregnant. So, and I think I was that was when I was like nursing the twins, both of them. I might have been a little bit underweight for like what's ideal for me. So if I gain a little bit more than what's recommended this pregnancy, I'm not going to be upset about it because I just think I started from a little bit lower point than I'm normally at. So I'm pretty happy with my weight gain. My doctor really hasn't said anything about it. It's weird to me to like be fitting in my jeans and just have to use the rubber band trick thing, just because I was used to the twins where I felt like I gained a lot more weight in my thighs and like my arms and everything. This pregnancy, I maybe got a little bit wider right away in the beginning, but now it seems like it's just belly that's getting bigger, which is good. I put down scar hurting Harry Potter. That's just to like remind myself of what's been going on there. And it's funny because if you know Harry Potter, like his scar hurts anytime there's danger or he's like connected to Voldemort in this way, and his scar hurts. So I think I feel like Harry Potter because my scar has been hurting, so I mean, that's pretty cool. But the scar from my C-section hurts, and it has been for probably the last 10 weeks. It's like, so when I first saw Dr. Holt, my OB, he said he didn't like the way that my scar healed, and that he probably if we did another C-section, would take out that whole section and put it back together, hopefully better than it was the first time, because my scar is really like ropey and it's like red, and especially now that I guess that area is growing and stretching, it's like really tender, uncomfortable, sometimes almost itchy. It's hard to explain, but it's definitely tender, and he said that's kind of normal, and hopefully with his like revision of that area, it will heal nicer and I won't have to deal with this for the rest of my life, basically. I have not been running lately. This is a note from maybe week 17 to 25 or something. I would go for like walk run things with the twins. I haven't really been lately, partially because I don't want to, like, anytime I would have an opportunity to do that, I would be by myself with the babies, pushing them in a stroller, and I'm not comfortable being hot outside by myself without somebody there, like if I pass out, because it's been close. Like it's just not safe for me to be parenting in a place where I could possibly pass out. So I haven't really been doing that. But when I was running, I was having a lot of like tightening on the sides of my stomach and like kind of down into my, like, you know, if you're really muscular and you have abs and like the V muscle, it's like that area would get really tight or like pressury when I would run. In addition to that, I've had lots of Braxton Hicks, which are mine feel like tightening sensation. It's not painful really. Sometimes it gets a little painful or just like makes you uncomfortable, but it's more of like a tightening sensation that I get, and I have several a day, up to like maybe 6 an hour, but my OB reassured me that if they're not painful, they're probably not doing anything dilation wise. Like they're not progressing you into labor. They're just more, he called it uterine calisthenics. And I was like, oh cool, does that burn calories? And he was like, probably not. He said probably they'll make you hungry. So it's like the opposite. Anyway, I already mentioned my sickness in the heat. I put down that I've been tired. I feel like I've felt better lately. I feel like this pregnancy, the 3rd trimester, is the best I've felt the entire pregnancy. And that might be because I finally got on a medication for depression. Okay, so the depression thing. I had, if you didn't see that pod or didn't see that blog or listen to the podcast, there's something called peripartum depression, which is a lot like postpartum depression. It's a circumstantial kind of depression that happens when your hormones are wild, like they are during pregnancy and postpartum. And I don't know if it's hormone related. I don't know enough about it to like even explain it, but I do know that I experienced it, and it was terrifying because there was like a week or two, and I kind of went into more detail on this on the podcast and that vlog where we filmed the podcast, but it was just like such a hopeless feeling that there were a couple weeks I didn't feel like I would ever feel better. It was really, really hard. So I finally, and I tried to address it with like diet, exercise, praying, breathing, like things that I felt like I had control over, and it just didn't seem to make it better, and it was getting worse quickly. And so I finally made the decision, my doctor and I decided it was best for me to go on to Zoloft, which is an antidepressant, anti-anxiety, like it addresses serotonin imbalance, I think. So anyway, I went on that, and then even after I had started that, I was like, is this just pregnancy? Like, am I just being dramatic? I had second thoughts about the whole thing. I was wondering if I was truly depressed, or if this was just like a normal thing, or if I was just being dramatic. And then after I was on the Zoloft for like 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks, I started feeling mentally so much better that there was no doubt I was depressed. And it was almost like diagnostic to be on this medication, and for it to make that dramatic of a difference in how I felt and just like my daily mindset, it like made me for sure know that I was depressed. And so anyway, if that's you, talk to your doctor, obviously, see if it's the best option for you, but don't be ashamed or afraid to start medication, because it can make such a huge difference in your day. And I think that's about it. Like, the baby is growing normally. We've had more ultrasounds because this whole pregnancy has been high risk due to the baby's kidney condition. And there's been an update on our channel since this video is posted, so go back and watch that. And it talks all about the kidney condition and what the plan is tentatively after the baby's born. But the baby's otherwise super healthy, growing normally. I think about 3 pounds as of last week when we had our growth scan done, measuring a week ahead, just like very active. That's the other thing that I've noticed is, like, Lyndall and Bear were really different in the womb, and it may be a little bit because Bear was so much lower and more in my pelvis and I couldn't feel his movement as much as Lyndall's, but I'm pretty sure she was way more active than he was in the womb. This baby might be rivaling Lyndall, so I don't know if that says anything about their personality once they're here, but this baby is a moving and a grooving. And it's also cool because, like, I have a posterior placenta this time instead of with the twins. I had both of their placentas were anterior, and so it padded a lot of the kicks and things from the outside. So this time you can see everything, and it's like giant movements that you can see. So maybe I'll try to get some on film and put it at the end when I do my bump update. So about at week 30, what happens from now on is really just a lot of like weight gain. My app says that they gain about 1/2 pound a week for the next 7 weeks. So that would be, yeah, 3.5 pounds more, and they were weighing 3 pounds last week. So maybe plus another 1/2 pound. So we're looking at maybe a 6.5, 7 pound baby. I guess we'll see. I mean, I know their predictions can be way off. And yeah, another huge milestone that we've already passed is the viability point. So at 24 weeks, if you go into preterm labor, they'll do everything they can to save the baby. So at this point, we're well beyond that, and survival rate every day that they're in is so much higher. So pretty exciting. Only one more weekend that we have where we don't have anything going on before the baby's here, and we have a lot to do. We have a giant pile of stuff in the garage of all of the baby stuff from Bear and Lyndall that we need to go through. So we'll probably vlog it. If you're new, subscribe and hit the thumbs up button if you like this video. Stick around because it's gonna be wild. We're gonna have 3 kids under 2. Like, Bear and Lyndall turn 1 in January. I mean 2. They turn 2 in January. So we're gonna have 3 under 2 from October to January. It's just gonna be wild. It's gonna be so fun. I'm really excited. I can't wait to meet this baby. I've been going back and watching earlier videos of Bear and Lyndall, and I'm just so excited to have another family member and meet them and see how they fit into our dynamic and see how Bear and Lyndall react. I think they're gonna be, overall, I know we'll have our moments, but I think overall they're gonna be really excited. And what someone once said, like, the best gift you can give your kid is a sibling, and I totally believe that. Growing up with siblings is amazing, and then being an adult and having siblings that you're still close to is amazing. So I'm just excited for the 3 of them to be really close in age, and I'm super excited. So with that said, I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm gonna go ahead and do a bump update right now, see if we can get some movement on camera, and we will see you next time. Bye.